Hello, my good farmers, my good viewers. How are you doing? I hope you're good. Today, I'm here to show you that farming is still the best thing that you can do, and the principle of what you feed will always grow. I just want to demonstrate that about the topic of how do you obtain consistent supply of your any crop that you're doing. How do you obtain that consistent supply? How do you plan for your farm? How do you make sure that you have consistency in what you're doing? The first thing that I normally say, as a farmer, you have to be organized. You have to know your seasons for every crop that you're doing. You don't want to spend a lot of energy doing a crop on the off season, and you know that this may be an alternative crop that you can do that can give you better results. So for you to obtain that maximum yield per season, you have to be organized as a farmer. You have to know my crop is this, and it will run through in the farm for this long. Yeah. So how do you start? The first thing you do is to program your blocks, your farm. Assuming you have your 20 acres of land, the first thing you do is to program them and to know how am I going to plant them so that I can be consistent throughout the year. For example, if you have 1 acre and you want to be in the market throughout, it's good not to plant maybe the full acre at a go, especially when you know you're in the off season. You subdivide your land into maybe 4 equal parts that you plant after a fortnight, or after every month you plant 1 acre. That is one thing. The other thing that helps us to monitor the consistency of our farm is water regime. You have to consider the amount of water that you have at a specific time duration. Is a time that you may have less water in your farm and you don't want to struggle on a project without water. If you're doing rain-fed irrigation, you should be very keen so that you do not make mistakes, or you do not plant a lot of crops that will disappoint you once the rains fail. So if you're doing rain-fed mode of irrigation, it's always good to monitor the amount of rainfall that you're likely to receive during that season. So if the rainfall is adequate, now you know maybe you can increase your acreage. But if it is not adequate, please don't pump your money on a project without considering the rainfall. So if for others that are going for the option of irrigation, you have to consider that as a mode of irrigation. You have to know if you're using your drip, if you're using your furrow irrigation, if you're doing the dam. You have to understand those concepts. If you're digging a dam, know that the specification of your dam, know how many cubic that it can hold at a go, and how many cubic that it can supply for your farm without that water running out, or that water going to a stage and you just realize, whoop, I do not have onions or water to finish out my project. So the other thing that we need to put into consideration is the labor available. You have to have a working team. You have to work skilled and unskilled labor. You have to have it. If you don't have skilled labor, you might be doing you yourself as a farmer, you must be equipped. Maybe you have to know the agronomic factors of any crop that you're growing. If you don't have that knowledge, kindly seek it from your local, maybe your local agricultural ministry. If it's not that, there are people who does offer that kind of consultancy. Reach them out. Don't begin a project without knowing what are the challenges in that crop, what are the good part of that crop. Have them, and that is the agronomic, the growth character of that crop that you're about to do. So with that, you are good to start your project. Start your project at a high gear, and with skilled, I've tackled that with non-skilled form of labor. Lazima ujue, if I'm doing 1 acre, how many type of laborers do I need? Because you don't need to put so much labor. It might consume all your operation cost. So you have to be very, very keen. You have to be very, very accurate with the form of labor that you're using. And finally, you have to understand the climate of your area, the climatic condition of your area, when it is too hot, when it's too sunny, when it's too cold, when the humidity is high, when the evaporation is high or low. You have to understand this concept as you begin your farming system. Then embark to the farm with a budget, with a plan, with a farm plan, with a chemical spray program, with a fertilizer program, with a you have selected your seeds and all that, and then you begin your project written down strategically. And then now, as I normally say, you remember agriculture is a science and as well as an art. You get to the science part of it and to the art part of it, action, and you begin. After your number of days, you calculate them, you get the output of what you want. So keep learning, keep subscribing. I want to remind you that you're doing online classes via Zoom for all of you who want to understand more about onion farming, being offering those services. And this week we are having one for the beginning of this month of October, 4th of October. It's at 7:30. So if you tag me, the prices are very affordable for all of us. It's $3 for all of us, and you will learn a lot. The topic for this next week on 4th Tuesday, it's about crop or onion disease and pests, and how do we control them. Thank you very much. Have a nice farming environment that will give you the best result. Goodbye, and may God bless the work of our hands.